Black society pretty much built this country. We know this. It's not a secret. Over 500 years of free labor, mistreatment, subjugation, right? Um, and so farming and agriculture is pretty much our last leg when it comes to property ownership. It's the foundation. Agriculture is our foundation in black society. So, and this is one of the many reasons why we need reparations. American descendants of slavery. You know, um, this is pretty much why we need it because of the fact that you had other groups, as I mentioned before, you had other groups who received their reparations due to their atrocities. You had, the Jewish community. You had the Native American community, right? You had the Japanese community. They all got their reparations due to their atrocities, and therefore our atrocities is due to the transatlantic slave trade over 500 years of free labor, mistreatment, subjugation, right? Um, Etc. throughout those years, and still to this day we're being mistreated. With the fact that this is a very comprehensive article, family, regarding black farmers, um, specifically in Mississippi, that are being uprooted as property owners in Mississippi. This is happening all over America, but farming and agriculture in specifically Mississippi is being, black farmers are being uprooted. Their land is being taken away. And, I'm going to read a short little paragraph of this article, but I'll leave the link in the description so you can check it out yourself for this article. Very comprehensive, and it talks about the history of black farmers, specifically in the state of Mississippi and in um, the southeastern region for agriculture. That is, you know, property ownership for agriculture for black society is being completely decimated. But in the article, it says, unlike their counterparts, even 2 or 3 generations ago, black people living and working in the Delta today have been almost completely uprooted from the soil as property owners, if not as laborers, in Washington County, Mississippi, where last February, TIAA reportedly bought 50,000 acres for more than 200 million. Black people make up 72% of the population, but only 11% of the farmland. Okay, in part of, in part or in full in Tunica County, where TIAA has acquired plantations from some of the oldest farm-owning white families in the state. Black people make up 77% of the population, but only 6% of the farmland. Holmes County, the third blackest county in the nation, black people make up 80% of the population, but only 90% of the farmland. TIAA owns plantations there too. In such a few years, a single company has accumulated a portfolio in the Delta almost equal to the remaining holdings of the African Americans who have lived on and shaped this land for centuries. So, just like prison, farmland and agriculture is always, for a long time been privatized. Been privatized and monopolized by companies um, that are basically owned and controlled um, by non-black owned companies. And so, um, TIAA is one of the largest privatized agricultural companies to acquire, um, you know, these lands that are owned or were formerly owned by black farmers that are being taken over by this private company. You know, and so again, this has been happening for a long time. Um, This is the reason why, when it comes to farmland and agriculture, we rely so much on processed food made by other companies, other vendors. And we don't grow our own food enough. You have a very very a very very small percentage of us actually grow our own food and practice agriculture on a daily basis. We don't do that. We're socially engineered or conditioned to think and understand that we have to buy food at a grocery store where it's already made and processed, and the times of cropping and growing our own foods is just on life support. And that's part of the reason why we're at the bottom of the totem pole in every statistical category, because they own and control all the wealth and the resources, you know, in this country, which is affecting our totality as a group, as a society, as a whole. It's affecting, how we act, how we behave. It's affecting our mental, our mental health, our physical health, or even spiritual. You know, it's affecting in every aspect, and it's called epigenetics. And so when you have epigenetics, where the way you are brought up in this world, brought up in society and the surroundings affect how you act, that's epigenetics. And part of that is food and how we consume it and how we access it, etc. And the fact that if we don't have the proper diet, if we don't have, just the proper intake of natural foods or lack thereof, that affects us in totality. And again, that's the reason why we need reparations to redistribute the wealth and the resources to black society. You know, I was watching the old Bobby Hemmett clip on Instagram, and he was talking about reparations as well. I should have pulled it up, but he was basically saying that there's no price tag for what we are owed. There's no price tag. What we have to get back is something tangible like land. And so they're taking what's tangible away from us to make us completely useless and docile, and to keep us completely controlled, like what Margaret Sanger wanted to do, which is basically what she's doing right now. Is just population control of black society and keeping us in the fetal position, just waiting on other people to give us handouts and help. You know, that's what it is. So, but yeah, this is a very comprehensive article. I'll leave the link in the description so you can check it out yourself. Shows, the history of black farmers losing millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, of land, particularly in the Delta region, Southeast region of the wilderness of North America. So check out the article, family. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Once you read the article, make sure you follow me on Instagram at GMOGMediaTV, family. Until next time, Chauncey signing out. Peace.